What if Napoleon never lost? What if the most brilliant strategist of the modern era, the man who reshaped Europe with pure intellect and relentless ambition, never faced defeat at Waterloo? What if his empire didn't collapse, his enemies didn't unite against him, and his final years weren't spent in exile on a distant island? Imagine a world where Napoleon's vision didn't fade, but ignited a new age for humanity. What would our world look like today if Napoleon not only won, but kept winning? Imagine Europe transformed under Napoleon's unified rule. No fractured nations, no endless rivalries, no centuries of conflict born from competing kings and empires. Instead, a single continental power rising under one banner, Napoleon's banner. Paris becomes the heart of a vast empire, a shining metropolis of innovation, politics, and culture. Massive marble avenues stretch across the city. Scholars debate philosophy. Engineers test new machines. Inventors shape the future in workshops, glowing with candlelight and early mechanical brilliance. But still, the question remains, what if Napoleon never lost? In this alternate world, Napoleon reforms society from its foundations. Education becomes universal. Talent is elevated above birthright. Schools train mathematicians, scientists, military strategists, and engineers at a scale the world had never imagined. Under Napoleon's guidance, Europe accelerates decades ahead of its time. Steam engines spread rapidly. Early rail networks connect major cities. Airships float above Paris long before airplanes exist. Medicine advances through imperial-funded research. The spirit of the Enlightenment evolves into something new, an age of discovery guided by structure and ambition. Yet again, the mystery returns. What if Napoleon never lost? Now imagine the empire beyond Europe. French influence expands across the world, not through fragmented colonies, but through an integrated global system. French becomes the universal language of diplomacy, science, and international trade. Napoleonic laws shape societies from North Africa to the Middle East, from South America to Asia. Cities across continents transform with arches, monumental bridges, and grand boulevards inspired by Paris itself. The world begins to adopt a shared identity, an imperial identity. But once more, the thought reappears. What if Napoleon never lost? Picture the evolution of his armies. The Grande Armée, perfected through years of campaigns, becomes a global peacekeeping force. Napoleon modernizes warfare into a science: logistics, mobility, psychology, artillery. Officers study philosophy, mathematics, and strategy inside massive military academies. Instead of collapsing, the army becomes the most disciplined force the world has ever seen. And with no rivals strong enough to challenge it, global conflict begins to fade. Nations do not dare to spark wars. Stability becomes the new reality. And still we ask, what if Napoleon never lost? Without exile, Napoleon continues to rule for decades. He establishes new institutions, new economic systems, new alliances built on logic and long-term planning. Europe avoids the world wars that tore our real timeline apart. Scientific progress accelerates dramatically. The arts flourish. Infrastructure expands like a web across the continent. Railroads, canals, and highways connecting millions of people into a single coordinated system. Cities grow productive, efficient, and interconnected. Imagine the long-term effects. A century passes, 2 centuries. The Napoleonic Empire evolves, modernizes, adapts. A global identity forms. Humanity becomes more unified and organized than any era in real history. A world guided by merit, innovation, and structure. A world without the same cycles of chaos and destruction. A world where technology leaps forward, faster communication, faster travel, faster understanding of the universe. Imagine space exploration in this alternate timeline. A disciplined, united human civilization reaches outward much earlier. Lunar bases, Martian colonies, imperial starships carrying the tricolor flag into the unknown. Humanity moves beyond Earth not in competition, but in unity, driven by Napoleon's legacy of ambition without limits. And through it all, one idea echoes through history: it didn't have to be the way it was. Napoleon's defeat wasn't destiny. It was simply the version of history we inherited. But another world existed, one where his dream endured. One where Europe became the engine of global progress. One where humanity marched into the future under a single, unified vision. We may never know how different our world could have been, but one thing is certain: if Napoleon never lost, humanity might live in a world shaped by his brilliance, his discipline, his ambition, and his unstoppable imagination. A world united, a world advanced, a world transformed. What if Napoleon never lost?